everybody to our beautiful studio in Berlin, Germany. It is sunny and LEC summer keeps getting more exciting every second, and the stakes for our opening game could not be higher. Only one win separates SK Gaming and XL Esports going into today, and both of them are fighting to claw their way into the top 6 and stay in the race for playoffs. The absolute style with which they debark their van is really a sight to see.
It's stunning.
It is
just
a
the
sight
casual step out.
Pro player mechanics. Yeah. I'm Sjokz, and we're here at the Analyst Desk with the boss and with Drakos. So yesterday you got to cast a few games. How was it?
Yeah, it was fun. A lot of fun, actually. Great games as well, so that made it even better.
Absolutely. I really enjoyed the trio, I have to say.
It was a blast. I did have to remind the boss here a few times not to just cheer for G2 shamelessly, but I understand where your loyalties lie now. We can work with that in the future. We just maybe, steer away from the G2 one.
Temper it a little bit. We already get told we're too G2 biased. So, and speaking of, with G2 continuing their climb towards the top of the standings, there is a very close race for playoffs. There are only 2 games between the 5 teams fighting for it. Now, it does look to me, Drakos, that it's starting to be a clearer picture, I think, in terms of the teams that will be in. But that being said, Mad Lions, if they drop a few more games, etc.
I have not given up all faith in Excel, which is a weird thing for me to say because I have historically given up all faith in Excel. But the addition of Markoon and Adrian continues to impress me. I think this team has a lot going for it, and if anyone is going to contest for that last spot, for me, I'm looking at Excel.
I know that the boss was looking at Vitality yesterday. They did drop that game to G2. Are you still as confident?
For playoffs, I do still believe Vitality is going to... I was counting that they were going to lose versus G2.
Right.
So I do still believe they're making playoffs. Wouldn't say so much that they're an astonishing team. It's more everyone else is pretty bad.
Well, I think that's as good a reason as any to make it into the playoffs. Let's take a look also at the rest. The top of the table, Misfits, they bounce back and they look set for playoffs as well. It doesn't look like they're going to drop as many games needed for them to drop out of playoffs. So they can take the foot off the gas pedal a little bit, I guess.
Certainly, and I think ultimately the fact that they were so successful in the first half of the split is doing them a lot of favors here. This is one of their easier weeks. The schedules are going to get harder from here, but as long as they win their matchup today, in general, should be pretty smooth sailing for Misfits as we move later in. The question, are they a top team? I don't think so. Can they make top 4? Yes, very much a possibility with their current win record, but beating a team in best of 5 is very different to securing placing in the regular season.
Do you think Misfits deserves a top 4 spot, maybe even top 2?
I 100% agree with Drakos. They are a good team, but they aren't the best. And top 4, I'm looking at Fnatic, Rogue, G2. And I think it's going to be a battle between Mad and Misfits.
I think that's a great shout. And talking about Rogue and Fnatic now at the top of the table, I mean, 2 teams that have just played the best throughout the season so far. What have you thought about Rogue specifically and how they've come into this season?
Yeah, Rogue has been playing astonishing this season, and I think most coming especially from Inspired, their youngler. He's completely insane. He does well every game. I know him from solo queue. He pops off every game, and he also has a special Fiddlesticks pick, which has completely 1v9 them won games.
I mean, it absolutely has, right?
Yeah, and that's always something to fear.
I mean, I like it. And I think, obviously, a lot of highlight moments when we look back at Rogue versus Sjokz as well. And Inspired's Fiddlesticks was such a huge part of that win. So I think it's good that you call this guy out. Obviously, a lot of people, when they look at Inspired, they look at MVP, potential overall. But I think Rogue is a roster holistically so dominant in the early game. Inspired is a massive part of that. But even Larson stepping up yesterday is a good thing to see. And on the opposite side, Fnatic, similar early game strength, very different in how they build a lot of these leads, much more bloodthirsty as opposed to objective focus. But both these teams, incredible early game dominance, transitioned into a lot of very consistent wins.
And Drakos, what I really loved about both those teams, about Fnatic and Rogue, is that we've seen new picks come out even when not provoked, and even in high stakes games against some of the best in the standings. Rather, you have Whippo, who's pulling out a couple of different junglers. Rogue, who as a whole seems to experiment more. Also Hansama on mages, on the Ziggs and and stuff like that. And I feel like that bodes well for them for those future best of fives.
Oh, and it certainly does. And I think the development of both these teams is a pleasure to watch. You're getting a ton of creativity coming out of Bwipo, something he was always known for in top lane, and really from Fnatic as a whole. And additionally for Rogue, not only is it creative picks, you heard from Trimby in the interview as well, creative options, not just playbook League of Legends anymore, trying to branch out, trying to do crazier things. And that's what you need if you want to win in the best of fives.
Speaking of creativity, we did saw some spicy picks yesterday. It was our first day on 11.14, especially. Sjokz Aurelia comes to mind, of course. Treats is Dr. Mundo jungler. And then also one of the new top lane picks, Wonders Sejuani top. I'm really happy that we have the boss here for that. Because talk to me about top lane Sejuani. What does she do well and what does she bring to a team?
Right, Sejuani top lane. It's a tank. Not the greatest laner in my experience. As you saw Wunder, he needed help and he still went down. But you saw as well as he was getting towards the late game and he was scaling, he became this standard tank and he was even able to beat Set in the 1v1.
Do you think maybe it's a little bit of a band-aid solution? Because knowing that, well, then we don't really need to worry about Wunder necessarily because he's still going to offer what we need in the team, or is that too harsh?
Yeah, no, I do believe it's just a solid pick for the team, really. And it kind of stabilized the whole comp when you pick it. And that's the key thing.
Yeah, and I think, to be fair, you're holding back a little bit, and I respect that. You're trying to give us your best, most disciplined analytical opinion, because I know you think this champion is trash. I mean, you made it. You got through. You talked about all the strengths. You avoided it.
She's pretty bad, yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see how good it can work out. Obviously, as highlighted, the lane phase is a little bit weak, but another champion who did receive a ton of attention on this patch, almost mini rework level, to be completely honest, is Aurelia. Now, when you get camped and top lane dived by Rogue over and over again, no pick is going to look good, but I do think Aurelia is a champion in general. It's super strong. Her win rate is shot through the roof. She does a lot of work in solo queue, and we saw when she was popular in pro previously, she can be a massive pick. Niski's played her mid lane last season. There's a lot of players who would love to use this champion, lead her amongst them, so I want to see more of that.
Oh yeah, I love seeing Aurelia in pro play, especially when it comes out with the shy levels of top laners. I don't know if we have those in Europe at this point in time. I'm sure we do, or in the mid lane. And then Dr. Mundo, we saw going into the jungle as well for Treats. What did you make of that?
Yep, Dr. Mundo. Reworked recently. Yeah, he got picked up. There's kind of a hidden rule in League of Legends. Any champion that has been reworked or released recently have to be OP for some reason. Riot rules, I guess. So Mundo reworked a month ago. And of course, his numbers are crazy high for some reason. And yeah, as you can see, he's kind of popping off.
Yes.
Yeah, his numbers are through the roof. I can't even debate that. Obviously, the champion is incredibly strong. You saw Treats with some of those bot lane dives. How is this champion tanking so much damage with effectively no items? I have no idea. But you can see why he's being picked up. The numbers are big. He may not have CC, but it doesn't matter.
A tank with no CC is OP. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, man.
Yeah, right. In any case, nice to see a couple of new picks finding them way into the LEC meta. Now we're going to give the boss even more power. We already brought him onto the LEC, and we're going to look at some reportable plays from LEC Summer so far. If you can grab your button.
I got a magical button.
Yeah, you got a magical button. So basically, we're going to look at a play, and then the boss can decide if it is reportable or not. Let's take a look at the first one.
Oh, exciting.
Yes, let's see. Your judge, jury, and executioner. Okay, this is Kaiser. Oof.
He whiffed the flash completely. And then he goes in.
Yeah.
Oi, oi, oi. Yeah, and he just dies on the turret. Okay, yeah. That's a little bit in, but I do believe his team abandoned him there in the middle of that.
Okay.
I wouldn't put that one on Kaiser, to be honest.
Okay. He did say in the Kia mic check afterwards that it was just his Hex Flash coming off cooldown at a very unfortunate time.
I wouldn't report it.
Okay, no reported. All right. Next up, we have some stopwatch shenanigans, apparently. Let's take a look.
Well, here we go. Ooh.
Oi, oi, oi.
Ooh.
It looks good, you know, shiny.
And that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Is that, how do you feel?
Yeah. Is that reportable or not, knowing that, you know, a fight may ensue?
Everyone has fat-fingered in League of Legends. Everyone has been there. If it's Flash, if it's TP, now stopwatch, everyone has been there.
Okay, are you being completely honest here? Or?
I feel like you're holding. You're looking like the ref in the Euro finals here. Does like someone need to literally get pulled down before you're going to give a yellow out or report anybody?
A good player. There's no report to.
Okay.
Be
All right.
Glad we got that squared. away. Let's take a look at our next one, and it is from SK Gaming versus Fnatic. Okay, they're just chasing.
Okay.
A lot of chasing.
Power diving.
Nice dive, no? Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Sang.
So I guess
we're going on a journey.
So is it reportable that SK didn't kill him? Is that it?
Auto Q.
Oh, I remember this.
Oof.
Ooh.
Oh no, SK.
Are they gonna keep going?
Oh no.
Oh no, 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 no.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tristana reports supporting jungle here, by the way. That is unacceptable.
Really,
hit the report.
Okay, it's reported. It's reported. I mean, really nice. But you can't, if there's a low health target, how can you not keep
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think what I deem to be acceptable behavior should be judged for pro players, because I chase. I'm a greedy boy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think we should use my standards.
If anything, Pyke should be honored.
He baited. Yeah, wow. Well, that is some spin. I like that.
All
Really,
right.
really
Okay, one
outsmarted
last
him.
one we have time for, apparently, and it's from a game yesterday. We have one more. We have one more.
One more.
It's from a game yesterday.
Sure.
Let's take a look. I'm just vibing to the music here. Okay. Oh, I remember this. I think leader
Oh.
channeling the
I
teleport.
mean, this is a 9x. This is where everyone agrees to report him,
Okay.
and probably into a ban
Okay.
from Riot.
Oh my God.
Unacceptable.
I mean, that's very
What-
topical
how
when
does
you're
that even
talking
happen?
about
Okay, I'm
leader.
just. All right, we gotta explain to me what's the difference between fat fingering Zanya's and fat fingering
No, but
TP on
that
the
is
tier 2.
unacceptable. Did you see? Nah.
Are you pressing the
nah.
button?
Yes, obviously.
Okay. Oh, I got that noise. Amazing. Thank you for that. A little bit of fun in games. We did talk to Leader yesterday, and he's totally fine with it. He explained, you know, he thought he was going to die bot lane, so it's all good. G2, though, they will have to avoid mistakes tonight as they go up against the stampeding Fnatic in our much-anticipated match of the week. It's warm in here. Whew.
Exciting.
I mean, I already know I'm getting a lot of flack for whatever's going on in G2.
He will try to farm, and he won't be the reason his team loses, but he will neither be the reason that his team wins.
And I think that's one of the big questions on a lot of fans' minds. Is Rekkles doing enough for this G2 lineup in these big games?
For sure, also my spot wouldn't be guaranteed by any means. If I'm failing this summer, I wouldn't be surprised if G2 considers having someone else in my place. And I know for sure if we don't make Worlds, that's going to be even worse. There's a lot of things on the line.
It feels like G2 is not very used to losing. You have two choices: to come back stronger out of it and learn a lot, or to crumble as a team, and I've experienced both. I hope they can turn it around, so we will have a good match.
The times when you come together as a team is when you're losing. I think when you're winning, it's easy to forget why you're winning in the first place.
Paranoia is absolute. You have the chance to go wherever you please. It's going to be mid.
It is going to be mid indeed. Good knocker by some time.
It feels like we are really a team right now, and everyone is doing their part. We have a lot of creativity in our plays.
Now they're starting the Baron. They're so fast. They can actually deny vision with the Nocturne, and they're doing this right now. It's gone.
We had a new rising star in the top lane. Adam.
The thing with Adam is his willingness to die is what I love about this guy.
The showstopper's still available. He gets the dunk down. Adam is finally taken out. As now the rest of Fnatic have arrived. The knocker from Hylissang sends Vitality to the fountain.
I just really like the way that Fnatic is playing recently. Whatever Bwipo chooses to do, the whole of Fnatic will pile up and go with the same call. And that's probably what G2 is going to have to work around, because Bwipo is also very aggressive, and that can be heavily punished by caliber of players in G2 that are so quick to punish mistakes.
He, alongside G2, can find their form again as he now finds the 1v1 against Hansama and a classic Happy B.
As Rekkles jumps towards Larsen, that's a lot of damage. Rekkles is dominating.
You've been here for so long, and you are still, you know, performing at such a high level. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, I think I still got it.
Big arrows coming in, arrows finding kills. G2 taking the fight. They take out Jeskla. White Knight steals the form, but it's not enough. Wonder and Rekkles versus the world.
G2 have now gone 2-0. The stories of their demise were greatly overblown.
It was a long time ago since I felt so happy in a team setting. Here in G2, it feels like the losses are kind of like pulling us together, which is a very different feeling.
After losing Spring Split, we were very desperate to prove ourselves, but that desperation kind of showed in our gameplay, and that's just not who we are, that's not who G2 is.
I mean, that's always the goal, of course, to become the Fnatic of old that was dominating the league, but it's still a long way ahead.
It would feel good for sure to kind of push G2 out of playoffs. I think G2 is one of the teams that can probably beat us on our way to win LEC, and it would be really good to get them just off.
No matter what form either of these teams are in, it is always a thrill to watch G2 and Fnatic go toe-to-toe.
Goosebumps all over. What an unreal match of the week video. And they are going to be both on stage. So fireworks, Fnatic won last time in the summer season. What are you looking out for in this matchup, in the match of the week, G2 versus Fnatic, boss?
As you said, super excited for the game. I'm mostly I'm sorry. As a G2 fan, I'm mostly concerned about the top lane situation, all right? No offense to Wunder, but if, history has shown, Wunder last split, Sion tank Raga's duty, this split Sejuani Mundo. I'm gonna be real. If he picks a tank versus a player like Adam, who is so aggressive and plays these bruiser champions, I fear for G2, and I think Wunder can match the bruiser playstyle. It's just, they really need to think about what to do with the top lane. I don't think the tank situation is a good approach here.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see how they adjust there, right? Because you saw Odawamne on this patch was talking a lot about how top lane is getting more attention. It has been more the focus. And G2 has been putting Wunder on the back foot, letting him be the one to bear the brunt of a lot of pressure, give him a bad matchup. And we talked about it. Sejuani, yes, she'll stabilize, but falling behind against Adam, when Adam starts getting going, he is a very scary player to go up against.
That he is. Also leading the board in terms of solo kills and always getting himself out of sticky situations. I think for Adam, this would also be a great chance to just show what he can do if Wunder does pick a tank. We'll see what happens today. It is a huge matchup, but we're also going to listen to Upset, as he was a guest for Drakos on Euphoria, and he's going to tell us a bit more about this matchup. I'm lying. This is later. First, we're going to talk. No, I'm not lying. It's now.
Or is it?
Is it?
Or is it not?
Let's go.
When you said G2 2019 was like unbeatable in a sense in Scrim, just like they're a lot different, do you think actually you've gotten better as a team, like your team, the league itself, gotten better?
And they weren't unbeatable. I thought me and Igna were always doing like decent against the bot lane, but it was just what I termed 3 fakers topside.
3 faker topsides.
Yeah. And the game's just unplayable no matter what happens bot, because there are 3 fakers on topside, and it doesn't feel like they have 3 fakers right now.
Okay.
But they are still very good, of course, but I think a lot of top sides. Maybe the league has just improved. I think the gap between them just closed a lot, but I still think they're like top talent in Europe. So I think they're very good, but it's not like I'm particularly scared to play against them, like I said.
Yeah. Do you think that this is going to be a slow maybe climb back to the top for G2? I think a lot of people now, if they see them winning again, are kind of just expecting them to go back to being a top 2, top 3 team in the league. Or do you think that that people should still estimate them as, they're going to playoffs for sure, they're a solid team, but people shouldn't just assume that they're going to be back on top as soon as they start performing again?
To me, Europe, to me the top 4, which is Rogue, us, Mad, and G2, I could see anyone winning the split, to be honest. I think there's outliers like Misfits and Wit or Excel, let's say. I don't think they're going to win the split, but the top 4, it's really hard to pick one. I mean, of course, I hope that we are going to be the one team, but I think all of these teams have huge upsides, and if the meta fits them right and they get into the right groove when playoffs hits, I think anyone can take it, to be honest. So pretty exciting.
It is exciting. It's nice, and it's also terrible for predictions, because that means who the hell do I actually predict? Who do I actually put faith in?
I can leak your scrims.
Ooh, okay.
I tell you who to pick.
All right,
but don't make it public.
Okay, I won't. Okay, all right.
Scrims can be fake data, though.
Scrims are always fake data.
Yeah.
I've literally never once been satisfied with the information I got from Scrims, other than what champions may or may not get picked. It's always
that's pretty accurate too.
Yeah, I have always gotten like this team is crushing it in Scrims, and then we get here week 1, and whatever team it was, it's just like instantly sprints. Yes, it's the usual.
It's not flex. I was speaking to NoTail yesterday about Dota Scrims.
Oh, okay. Just NoTail. Just Dota 2 legend NoTail. Yeah, I was talking to my boy NoTail. We go way back. You know, we used to queue up for some pug games. You know, or Pudge games in my case. You know what I'm saying?
Pudge games, good one. Actually, good pun. But he was saying the exact same thing in Dota, where it's like when he was playing in TI, they would lose Scrims to a team, for example. But when they play against him on stage, they just get the enemy team. He doesn't even have to do anything, but they get in their own heads. Where they're like
the thing is, I respect Kadril for coming in a completely different game and flexing. Shout out to NoTail, by the way. But
no, I have more info. So basically, we saw him in rehearsal, and he sat somewhere, and then after he said, "Did you see who sat there? It was NoTail." And then the next day, when the show is like done, he's like gone for a half hour, and I just walk by, and he's just like talking to NoTail, and he was so excited. It was the cutest thing ever. Kadril, I'm so happy you get to meet your heroes. In any case, let's.
Wow.
That episode of Euphoria was amazing, by the way. We got so much insight into the match, and I think we need to talk about what will be very instrumental in that one as well, being Fnatic, who made one of the most shocking roster moves ever in EU history, and it could very well be the most successful one. Bwipo is playing in the jungle now, and we want to bring you in and have a bit of a controversial discussion. Do you think Bwipo could deserve the MVP of summer? Spam yes or no in chat now. High-level thoughts first, the boss. A top laner swap to the jungle and doing so well. Sorry, Drakos.
Well, Bwipo basically really good player, right? But I guess maybe top lane is just a useless role, and he role swapped, went into the jungle, and now he's carrying the whole team. Maybe that says something about the role. Maybe that says something about the player. I don't know.
Leave it in the middle.
But
I'm sorry, I can't trust solo queue players to tell me about their role because literally no one says their role is good.
That's true.
Everyone is like, my role is useless. So I'm going to take that part with a grain of salt, but I will say the Bwipo was hugely impactful, and you saw it in the game versus Astralis yesterday. He was a monster. Viego did not look fair in his hands. He got so many resets, so many skirmishes, but ultimately, MVP is a really, really big title, and I don't think Bwipo is there yet, because while he has had this incredible game, and this one certainly felt like a bit of a pub stomp, there are a lot of games where he has fallen behind. Notably against the Mad Lions, where he played that Ghost Udyr game. Also similarly coming in against G2, and while they did win in the Xin game in a big way, his early game, he was getting absolutely destroyed by Jankos and Mickey roaming in, but he did have the cards as first inspired, so it's a mixed bag. That said, way more success than I thought I'd see.
And it also seems that Fnatic is just completely on the same page, and all the players that have accolades, or even the newer ones like Adam, seem to be playing out of their mind, and that's helping. What would you say it would take for Bwipo to win the summer MVP?
Sure, I can take it. I want to see good performances, obviously. No, but I also want to see good performances versus better teams, and where he can do more stuff alone, and he doesn't have to rely that much on his team. That's what I want to see.
Makes sense.
I completely agree. I think this is the thing, is that when you look at against top teams, he's only played 3 of those games, right? He gets the chance in the second round robin to go back to play a lot of these teams again. If he can have another game against Rogue where he just bodies inspired like he did in that Karthus game, if he can show up in this G2 game today in a big way, that is massive for Bwipo and massive for Fnatic. That said, Fnatic to me is a team that is truly a team. No one player stands above the rest. Part of the reason Bwipo's been so successful in this role is because of how good he is at just playing with Hylissang regardless of role. So based on my criteria for MVP, it's hard to put Bwipo up there, but Fnatic as a team look like a top team and no one can stop them.
Yeah, there are so many people we haven't even mentioned here in the discussion. It's not what we're meaning to do. It seems like the opinion is kind of in the middle for the crowd as well. 55% saying yes, I believe. Let's take a look at the schedule though, because Bwipo and Fnatic, they're closing the day out and the week out in the match of the week versus Fnatic. But every single match is pivotal for the race in playoffs today, Drakos. Some teams can't even afford to lose 1 or 2 games anymore.
Yeah, let's just give it a quick TLDR of each one. XL versus SK, this is supposed to be one of the easy wins for XL. If they lose here against an SK that won yesterday, it is massive. Schalke really also can't afford to lose any more games. Misfits, this is one of the last easy wins they have. The rest of the table is a lot of teams that are in the middle pack fighting against each other. People count Astralis out, they can beat Rogue, suddenly they're right back in it. Vitality Mad, very crucial as they're neck and neck. And of course, G2 and Fnatic, always going to be a big game. Basically, if you are facing a team that is below you, you have to beat them. And if you're facing a team around you, it's doubly important because you move up one and you move them down.
And so incredibly important for SK as well. SK Gaming looking to get a comeback run started, and earlier Laure caught up with their rookie support.
Thank you, Sjokz. And Lilipp, thank you so much for joining me on your very first LEC interview. How are you doing?
I'm feeling really good, thank you.
Fantastic. You joined the team not a while ago, but I mean during difficult times for SK. How has it been working with them? Because they got a lot of wins since you joined the team.
Yeah, it's working pretty well. I felt really welcome already in the start when I joined them, and also scrims are looking pretty good. I feel like I found my place in the team, and yeah.
Yeah. I mean, have they been helping you? Because you're one of the rookies in the LEC, and I feel like coming to SK at such difficult times may be tricky for a rookie. So yeah, how have they been helping you?
I mean, for sure, the thing is, I have a support main in jungle, right? And really good support on the coaching position. So they just help me like improve when to engage, and like after scrims, we just look over the place and check, okay, should I went in earlier or, yeah.
It's interesting that you mentioned this because when we looked at stats for SK, we noticed that most of the laners usually stay in lane early on and they don't go a lot for roaming plays, helping other lanes. But yesterday in your game, I noticed that you roam mid lane, you went creating plays. Do you feel like you're getting more comfortable? And how would you describe your play style with SK?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Usually I was always kind of a lane player, like more for lane and going for these 2v2 outplays. But recently I felt like I have way more value if I move around the map and like create vision for my team. And yeah, that's why.
Amazing. And it starts to show in SK's performances. And I saw something earlier. You tweeted that you were looking forward to facing Markoon and Advien in Excel. Is there a reason why?
I mean, it's just because they are rookies as well. So I think it's just a great opportunity to show who's the better rookie.
What does it mean for you to be a rookie in the LEC, actually?
I mean, it's pretty insane. I don't even feel that nervous playing on stage. I feel like I'm playing even better than usual. But yeah, it's just really insane to play here.
Well, we're lucky to have you here, Lilipp. Is there any words you would like to say for the fans or someone in particular?
Yeah, I want to greet Beryl.
Beryl, wow. Okay, that's a good one. But thank you, Lilipp. Have fun against Excel today. And maybe we'll see you for a post-game interview. Back to you, Sjokz.
Thank you so much. What a great interview. Aim for the stars. Just say hi to Beryl. I love it. And, you know, aptly called out there as well the fact that SK is up versus XL. 2 rookie supports. And for either of these teams, it's really starting to count, especially for SK.
Oh, certainly the case. And I think the good news for SK fans is that you have a glimmer of hope to hold on to after that game yesterday. Massive performance from Treats and from the SK team as a whole, certainly making Mundo look incredibly powerful. But that said, it is an uphill battle. Look at the schedule ahead of them. Yeah, XL you go maybe that's possible, but then it's G2, it's Fnatic. Let's call it a little bit of a stress reliever on Astralis, maybe a better chance there. Instantly into Misfits and Rogue to close the season. So as good as Treats has been, as much as Lilipp seems to be aware of the team issues and that they are progressing, it may be too little too late. It is so hard for SK to do anything this season.
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at having to play G2, having to play Misfits, having to play Rogue, and every game possibly being the death of you when it comes to playoffs. I feel this is apt. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
It's the consequences of your actions, SK. You've lost so many games at the beginning of the season, and now you have to show up. But I won't let us detract that from the fact that Lilipp is showing up, that SK was able to beat Mad. We know that the possibility is there, and we know that Treats has found the spot in the jungle.
Well, and we're also in the LEC, and as much as I'm going to get meme for narrative on this one, every time it feels like we count a team out, there's some mysterious miracle run, there's some crazy upset. So until they're out, they're not out, and that's ultimately the case. Treats was massive yesterday. Lilipp is clearly getting better day by day with the lineup, so we just have to see what SK can do.
We do. Finally, I do want to touch on XL before we get over to the casters. Nukeduck in particular, such a big point of contention, I think, for XL and this lineup, but he is also finding his groove, we gotta admit it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think obviously Markoon is going to be one of the big flashy players. He's getting his hands on the Lee Sin, hands on the Diana, so you're always going to look towards him. But Nukeduck, to me, when he gets ahead in the early game, we see the team take off. They had the Diana Yasuo combo. That game looked fantastic, even with a small deficit. But the LeBlanc game is what I look at for this guy. At the start of the season, it was the Akali, it was the Azir. He was a one-man army when all of Excel was struggling. But now that he has a bit more of a solid roster to surround him, I want to see more proactive champions. I want to see champions that can set up and can snowball. all, because Wall Excel have had some scrappy moments and certainly did yesterday versus Misfits. They have looked best when they can get an early lead on Nuke Duck and snowball that to victory.
Markoon and Advien, I think, first stage game in the LEC today, so we'll see what happens. This is a must-win for both teams, so let's see who comes out on top as the race for playoffs continues with Hiprain and Jamal.